What's going on, you guys? This is All1 on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you my first ever Borderlands 3 build video. And with this build video I'm going to be giving you is going to be a shield build for Moze. So we're going to go ahead and go right into it. I'm going to try to make this nice, clean, quick, and I guess easy. So first things first is the abilities. I'm going to explain why you want to kind of go with the specific, or how to use these specific things and whatnot. But you're going to want to pretty much max out Shield of Retribution. The only thing you're not going to max out is Security Bear. You're not going to worry about putting any points into this because you're not going to be using your you're not going to be using the Iron Bear pretty much at all. You're only using the Iron Bear as a safety net. So what I mean by safety net is when you have low shields, like 25% of your shield is active left and like 75% of it's gone, that's when you use Iron Bear because you're going to regen your shield back. So with the full can of Whoop-Ass, this is going to give you a recharge rate of your shields by 25%, not just to you but to your allies. So if you notice that your allies or yourself has low shields, you just activate Iron Bear and then you get your shield back and they get their shield back, and then you can just eject. When you eject, halfway or half of the cooldown is going to be already filled up instead of letting Iron Bear die. If Iron Bear gets destroyed, then the recharge is all at a full 100% instead of starting at 50%. Now you're going to want to max out Armored Infantry, Vladov Ingenuity, Thin Red Line, the Behind Iron Curtain, Phalanx Doctrine, Force Feedback, and Tenacious Defense. All of those go together because they all affect your shield. So make sure you get those maxed out because you want to be able to really benefit in the shield bonuses. I mean, obviously, like I said, you want to get everything maxed out except for Security Bear. Now, Selfless Vengeance and Desperate Measures are going to go hand in hand, and which will allow you to end up getting Drowning in Brass, I think that's what it's called. So Selfless Vengeance and Desperate Measures works hand in hand because the Selfless Vengeance, every time you reload, you lose 5% of your health, your max health, or it reserves it or whatever. And you also get 15% extra fire damage to your guns, or you do extra 15% of gun damage dealt as fire damage. And it not just applies to you, but applies to your allies. So every time you reload, they get that damage bonus as well. And it lasts for 5 seconds. Now, Desperate Measures, the lower amount of health that you have, the more damage you put out. So having this go with this, you can potentially get your health down very, very, very low, and you'll always have that high amount of gun damage. So that's why those two go great together. And then also Experimental Munitions is gonna go pretty great with Selfless Vengeance because of the incendiary damage you're already applying with it. This is gonna allow you to do 10% more damage with incendiary damage whenever you deal a crit damage. And with Drowning in Brass, so whenever you get a kill, you and your allies both get a damage increase, and there it stacks up to 3 times. So you get a 20% damage increase. Your rate of fire reduces by 2.5% per stack, so you're looking at 7.5% fire rate reduction if you get 3 kills within the 15 seconds, but you're also getting a 60% damage increase to your weapons, to your gun, which is insane. And now for those of you that have never, if you have ever played Division 2 and you know the talent Unbreakable, that's what Tenacious Defense basically is. But it doesn't really have a cooldown on it, which is pretty awesome. I think it doesn't have a cooldown. It says 30-second duration. I don't know if that necessarily means you have a 30-second duration of your gun damage up to 30%, or there's just an initial cooldown in it. But the way Tenacious Defense works is when you have full shield, or not full shield, but you get your shield gets depleted, you get 40% of your shield back plus 30% gun damage, and then when your shield is back to full and you lose your shield again, it depletes, then Tenacious Defense procs again automatically, which is going to be very, 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 very important to have because that's going to be a key element to your survivability. Now the last 2 things I want to look over for you guys is Force Feedback. Force Feedback obviously it's cut clear. It says what it does. Whenever you get a crit kill, your shield immediately begins to recharge. This is like I don't know how to make this any more important, but you're going to be regenerating your shield all the time. That's the key of this build. Your build is around your shield. You're gonna have very low health. So having anything that gives you any type of recharge to your shield, any type of recharge rate, any type of capacity is going to be important. Phalanx Doctrine. So the way Phalanx Doctrine works is anytime you get a kill, you get I think it's 10% damage per stack for your gun damage, and about like 20% max shield per stack. And it lasts for 30 seconds. Obviously mine is increased 8 out of 5, so I'm getting 16% gun damage per stack, 24% shield per stack, and it lasts for 30 seconds. And it only works for you, it doesn't work for allies. That'd be awesome if it did, but yeah, this is definitely a great thing to have because it makes me go from 21k or 29 whatever shield up to 41k shield pretty easily. Now, the other thing with this build is you're not going to want to always put something on that has the highest shields. And actually, I'll just go over that in a little bit. So the next thing you're going to want to go into is Bottomless Mag. So with Bottomless Mag, you want to get 5 out of 5 on Cloud of Lead, and then you want to get 1 out of 1 on Redistribution. Cloud of Lead because whenever you deal damage, you have a chance of not consuming any ammo, which is going to be amazing to have. It's really awesome. It's super noticeable as well. And you also deal 11.25% incendiary damage. So this with Selfless Vengeance and Experimental Munitions pretty much goes pretty well with each other. And then Redistribution, after Mo's scores a critical hit, she regenerates ammo for a few seconds. So ammo to me was kind of an issue sometimes. At least when I was doing the Slaughter Star 3000, I was running out of ammo pretty often. And by the time I got to like the 3rd or 4th round, I had really low ammo because I'm always using the shotgun. Like the shotgun is just my go-to. Sometimes I use my AR as well if I need to. But yeah, you're not going to be going into any of this, even though this is going to help you have ammo all the time. The last one you're going to go into is going to be Grizzled on the Demolition Woman tree. Grizzled because you're going to have your action skill cooldown reduced for every time you get a kill. There is a diminishing returns. I'm not exactly sure what the diminished returns is for this, but either way, this is going to be really noticeable. It's going to be really helpful as well. Because anytime you eject, like I said, anytime you eject from your Iron Bear, it's already at a 50% cooldown. It's waiting at that 50% cooldown mark instead of 100%. So you eject, and then you just get a few kills, and you can get Iron Bear back. Iron Bear, like I said, is only going to be used as a safety net. So you don't need to worry about having the extra armor. You don't need to worry about having the fuel or anything, pretty much. You don't need to worry about any of this stuff. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you the Guardian ranks that you want to actually end up going into first. So you want to go into Survivor. I went into Hunter because I started off with a mech build, and with a mech build you want to go with as much of a skill cooldown rate as you can go. And then I also realized, oh, you can get luck as well. You can get luck, the luck stat. So I'm at 13.1% luck, which drops my rare. It has a rare drop rate increase. I haven't really noticed a big difference, but you can also get Treasure Hunter, which I'm not sure what the percentage is when you get a kill for 10 seconds or after 10 seconds, but you know, hopefully it's a good amount, like 50% or 30% or something. But the reason why you want to go Survivor is because this one increases everything with a shield. So your shield regenerates after you get a kill, and your shield recharge delay and recharge rate is increased by the amount of missing health you have. And you're going to be missing a lot of your health. You're going to be missing at the minimum 60% of your health. You can go all the way to like 100% of your health or 99% of your health, and this will just recharge your shield. I'm assuming it'll recharge your shield a lot quicker than what it already does, because I mean, it's recharging it at the rate of your missing health. So that's pretty insane. And then you got two things for Fight for Your Life. So when you get a kill with Fight for Your Life, you get full shields and full health, which is going to be awesome, especially for this shield build. And then Dead Man's Hand, it removes the aim penalty while in Fight for Your Life. So you can actually aim in down sights with this perk. So it'll be easier to get kills. And then the only thing I would be looking forward to getting in the Enforcer tree would actually be the CC combo, because your gun damage is increased by 2% for 1 second with each shot. So you can potentially be at like 4 or 6% increase in gun damage per second, depending on the rate of fire of your weapon. If it's fast rate of fire, you could probably even get to like 10% gun damage. But anyways, for the inventories, so I'm actually going to skip the weapons for now. I'll explain the weapons in a little bit, because the weapons itself is just it's just something, your self preference. But with the shields, artifacts, everything, I'm going to go ahead and show you what I use. So I use the transformer, and the reason why the transformer is going to be really good with this build is because you convert 100% of the shock damage into shields. So you're 100% shock resistance. You don't take any shock damage. All shock damage does to you now, instead of doing a lot of damage to your shield, it regenerates your shield. It's a great healing mechanic. In the Slaughter Star 3000, I actually just leave the shock guys up. I let them live so they can heal me, so I can go around killing everything else, and then when they're the last ones, I go and kill them, because there's nothing else for me to kill and I need to get to the next round. So having them shock me to heal me is great. And Kilovolt is not an issue anymore. Kilovolt is an extremely easy boss when you have this shield, because there's nothing but shock, right? He does nothing but shock. And the ground is shocking, you heal from that. It's just an easy kill from him. And now Tenacious Bloodleather, alright, Fortified Tenacious Bloodleather is the gunner class mod you want to go with. If Mose would be healed, she gains shield instead. If she would regenerate health, she also gains shield regeneration. Ideas are bulletproof. I'm not exactly sure what that necessarily means. I'm pretty sure it's just a saying. But this is going to be really good because of that health regen. The health regen is going to apply to your shield, like it says, and it's a really noticeable difference. And anytime you pick up one of the the med packs on the floor or anything, your shield regenerates. You're not your health, but your shield regens. So if you have low shield and your Iron Bear's on cooldown, and you see a shield mod or you see a health pack on the floor, run over, grab it, and you get your shield back. You're getting a lot of shield back. And as you can see on my perks, these are actually pretty good perks. I don't like the TDR weapon fire rate because I don't use TDR weapons. Actually, I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't use TDR weapons necessarily. It's not really my favorite or ideal faction weapons. But it gives me 18% damage reduction, which applies to explosives and like pretty much any physical weapon types, so explosives and normal bullets. It does not apply to elemental effects though, which is unfortunate. But elemental effects won't really do much to you anyways, especially shock, since shock is the biggest thing for shield builds. If you weren't resistant to shock damage will break your shield pretty quick. And then I have 149 health regen, which regens my shield as well. Now my artifact. The artifact is going to come down to also self-preference, but this one, I always use this. And the reason why is because of the slide speed is increased by 102%. It makes a world of a difference when you slide around. You can literally slide from, let's say, point A to point B in 2 seconds. Without this, it'll take from the 2 seconds, it'll be like 6 seconds to get from point A to point B. So having this just to roam around and to be evasive is going to be amazing. But not only that, but I also got really good stats on this. I got super lucky with it. It came with 29% corrosive resistance, 29% cryo resistance, and 21% action skill cooldown rate. And I actually got this from a vendor. I bought it from the vendor when I was at the Slaughter Star 3000. I was just selling all the loot that I picked up from there. And I found this. I was like, holy cow, I need to buy this. So I bought it, and now it's just amazing. The artifact I was using before I found this was a gray version of this, so it didn't have any of those bonuses. All it had was slide speed, which was at 102%. So I'm telling you, the slide speed makes a massive world of a difference in gameplay. Now there are other types of artifacts you can go with, such as Knife Drain Safeguard and Radiation Stone Deathless. So Knife Drain Safeguard, what this does, you're going to get a 30% increase in shield recharge rate, ignite chance, and a magazine size increase. But whenever you get a kill, or not a kill, but whenever you do a melee hit, you get 75% of a lifesteal, which won't apply to your health, but it'll apply to your shield. So it's a good way, it's an easy way of going around and getting your shield back. And then the Radiation Stone Deathless. This is going to push your shield capacity so high. Your recharge rate and recharge delay is actually really good as well. And this one came with a max shield, so of 1666, and a radiation resistance. And then the last thing I'm going to go over, well, out of the gear slots, is the grenade. It's called It's Piss. So It's Piss is going to be, it's a little weird. It doesn't really do much to the enemies. The damage is alright, but it doesn't apply much like an actual status effect. It does apply a debuff to them, to where you and all allies, pretty much everything, anything and everything, deals 20% more damage to that enemy for 6 seconds. I use this to wipe off status effects on myself though. So if I get burned, or if I have corrosive or radiation on me or anything, if I see that, I will just throw it on the ground and it heals, it just wipes that off. It does damage you a little bit, but you just wipe off that status effect. And it can also wipe off status effects on allies as well. So if you notice they're on fire or something, just throw it on them, and yeah. But generally it'll be pretty hard to notice if they have a status effect on them. So I'm actually going to go ahead and show you the amount of health I have right now. So I'm at 21.3k health, or shield, and 1.1k, almost 1.2k health. Now, when I apply the artifact that gives me increase in health, or armor, shields, and whatnot, then I'm gonna show you the potential that you can reach with your shield. Alright. So there's another one called Chameleon Front Loader as well. Chameleon Front Loader has a high capacity, high or low recharge delay, and a high recharge rate. It gives you 60% of your max health and returns it as a shield capacity, which is basically the same exact thing that you get for the Moses perk. And then 40% capacity, 10% max health, and 8% health, and 17% resistance to the last damage type received for 3 seconds. So you're getting another 100% increase in max shield from this. So I went from like 21,000 shield to basically double the amount of shield that I have. But my health does drop all the way down to 1, but it's okay because I don't need health. I only need shield. As you can see, I am at 47,349 shield. So having that much shield is going to be really nice, but like I said, the only reason why I use the transformer instead is because the transformer gives me that shock resistance. And the other reason why I use the durable snowdrift is because of the slide speed and the resistances and the cooldown rate. It's just really hard for me to pass up. So if you get something like these, I would highly recommend using that. Even if your shield doesn't go to 40,000 base, it's fine. You get, I think, in my opinion, I have had a higher survivability rate having just this 21.3k shield over my 48k shield. With the 48k shield though, you can potentially go up to almost 100k shield with the kills. So the weapons I'm using Lucian's Call, double penetrating shredded laser exploder, redundant brainstormer, and speed load in Hellwalker. Now it all depends on the mayhem mode that you're playing on, like mayhem mode 3. It depends on the modifiers you have. Some of the modifiers will make these weapons useless. Some of them will make them extremely powerful. Some of them will just keep them the same. But I use all these in the in Slaughter Star 3000 because it's just really good to use. Redundant brainstormer, you get this from Wiccan Wardy, and this weapon itself, I think it's Wiccan Wardy, I'm pretty sure, but what it does is it chains lightning between enemies, and it's insane because you don't have to get a crit with it. All you have to do is just shoot the enemy, and it chains the lightning between multiple enemies, and it just keeps bouncing back and forth between them. And it's a great weapon to use to break enemy shields extremely quick, And also, if you are down and you need second wind and there's a bunch of enemies, just spam this weapon and you're going to end up getting a kill. And speed load in Hellwalker, I don't remember exactly where I got this from, because I've just been going around killing a bunch of enemies. Obviously this one's at level 49, so I had to have gotten this at a later boss, or like one of the midway bosses when I was going through True Vault Hunter mode. But speed load in Hellwalker is definitely, if not the strongest shotgun in my opinion. It just does so much burst damage. It's not a shotgun like subsidized the Butcher, where this one has a high rate of fire and a high weapon damage as well. But speed load in Hellwalker, it just does so much freaking damage. Oh, I guess another reason why it does a lot of damage is because it has consumed 2 ammos per shot. So instead of me being at ×5, it's at ×10. So I'm at technically 4890 damage with a speed load in Hellwalker. But this gun is insane. It has a quick reload time as well, as you can see, because mine came with 35% reload speed. So I'm at a 1 second reload time with 2 in the mag. And sometimes you have a chance of not consuming any ammo. Or no, never mind, I'm dumb. It does consume ammo. That's a different weapon. But yeah, these 2 are my most favorite shotguns in the game. And then double penetrating shredded laser exploder. It's a Torgue weapon, so you're gonna expect explosions, but it's also a laser weapon as well. So it's gonna be shooting a laser beam at the enemy, and it auto targets the enemy. So it's not a straightaway laser. It just starts to curve around and hit the enemy. And what I've noticed, it normally targets the enemy's weak points, their crit spots. It'll normally target that, which is insane. So it'll also shoot out explosions as well. So this is definitely one of my, if not top 3 weapons to use. Lucian's Call, this is definitely an amazing gun to use, because whenever you get a crit hit, not a crit kill, just a crit hit, you gain 2 bullets back into your magazine. So you can basically stay at 60 in the mag all the time, as long as you're shooting at the enemy's weak points. And not only that, it ricochets 2 bullets at the nearest enemies. So it's always ricocheting bullets out whenever you're critting. And yeah, I mean, it's a really powerful weapon as well. But anyways, that's pretty much it with this video. Obviously, you don't have to use these weapons. You can always use different weapons. But the Artifact and the Gunner class mod, I would recommend those 2. The Artifact, did I say Artifact? I meant Shield. Shield and class mod, I would recommend using those 2. The Grenade and Artifact, it comes down to preference, but these 2 I have right now have definitely made a world of a difference for me in comparison to anything else. And all of these skills is definitely something you want to go into. You want to make sure you prioritize Shield of Retribution first. And then you can put the points into Demolition Woman and Bottomless Mag. But yeah, that's pretty much it with this video. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some gameplay footage of me doing or playing with this build in action. And yeah, if this build helps you out, go and leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know down in the comment section as well, and I'll try my best as possible to help you guys out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is all Day1 on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and peace.